Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Shannon Show. So, as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, I am looking at what it's been like after a year with the Barnes & Noble Premium membership. It's been a little bit under a year, but I feel like it's been enough time so that I can kind of take a look at like a yearly scope with it. And something I will say is that I do love Barnes & Noble. There are some issues with it. However, I will continue to support it because it's the only thing standing in Amazon's way from getting the monopoly on the book industry. It is standing between Amazon and the book industry, and I will continue to support it because of that. And at the same time, what I will say is support your local Barnes & Nobles, but also try to support your local libraries and your local indie bookstores a little bit more when and where possible for you. But if Barnes & Noble or Books A Million, try to support your local bookstores just in general rather than Amazon when and where possible, because that is what's standing between Amazon and the book industry. And I'm using this video as like a to take a look at the whole scope of Barnes & Noble and their rewards and membership systems, just to see what the good, the bad, where they can improve, and just taking a look at the whole thing. Because I don't think they'll see this video, but I honestly think that maybe if we get some more videos like this out there, they'll take note of this. So I do have some links down below in the description. So specifically, I have two Barnes & Noble links, their member benefit summary, and then the premium and rewards membership overview. And then I have a Reddit thread link, the premium membership worth it. Is Barnes & Noble's membership upgrade worth $40? Another link. And then the last one I have is Barnes & Noble's new premium membership is an insult to readers. I do think that's a little bit harsh, but I also think that person, the author, has some decent enough points, some good points. I do think it's a little bit harsh though, so I'm not going to go over all of these links, but I have them linked down below in the description if you want to take a look at them for yourself. So to go over the pros and the cons first, because that's what I like doing in some of these more talky videos. So I'm going to go over the cons first real quick, and then I will go over the pros. So the first con is that the annual fee is $39.99, so $40, and they use like the 0.99, whether you're talking US dollars, Canadian, Australian dollars, pounds, euros. They use like the 0.99 to kind of make you think it's not that amount. So like $39.99, it's not $40, or $40, so it's not more than $40, you know. Or it's like if it's like taking a look at like the smaller amount. So if it's like $4.99, like okay, it's $5, but it's not more than $5. So it's like they kind of use that to trick you a little bit. So it is $39.99 fee. And because it is such, I mean, like in comparison to like other fees and stuff, it's not terrible, but because it is on the higher side for like what they offer, there is a potential to not recover the cost. And what I mean by that is that I did get like some help with putting these pros and cons together, but essentially what that means is that for it to be worth the $40 you spend on the premium membership, you have to go enough times and or at the very least order enough books through the Barnes & Noble website or app. You have to order enough to balance that out. So you have to buy like at least, at the very minimum, you have to buy $40 worth of items from Barnes & Noble and Paper Source, since it also applies to Paper Source. You have to buy at least $40 worth of items through Barnes & Noble to balance that out and to at least make it worth it. It has to be a minimum of like $45, I would say, 45 to 50, to start balancing it out more and making it worth it. But at the very least, $40 to break even. Think of it like a profit. So if you buy something for $10, planning to resell it, you need to sell it for at least $1 more than what you bought it to make profit. So if you buy something for $10, you need to sell it for at least $11 to make profit. So it's kind of the same thing here. For you to be able to make it worth $40, you need to spend at least $41 with Barnes & Noble. So it's like, if you're not going enough or not buying enough through a Barnes & Noble website or app, then it monetarily it doesn't make sense to have the premium membership if you don't buy at least $40 worth of stuff through Barnes & Noble. The third thing is that there are, even though they do offer discounts, there are discount exclusions, specifically ebooks. And then they also do not price match. So if you, like, a lot of stores price match. Like if you see a book at Target that's selling for like $12, but at Barnes & Noble it's $15, they're not going to price match the Target price of $12. Like, if it might be like, if you have the premium membership, it might be like $13. Okay, that's 10%. What's 10% of 15? 10% of 15 is 1.5, so $1.50. And so you'd basically be down to $13.50 roughly. So it was about right. So you'd be close enough to the Target price, but at the same time, it's like they're not going to drop it lower than that if you have the premium membership. So there's that to take into consideration. So they don't price match. And then the stamp-based rewards program that they have, it's the same for regular members. And basically their stamps-based rewards program, which I'll talk about a little bit later, where you collect stamps and every $10 you spend is a stamp. Every $10 equals one stamp. And when you get 10 stamps, you get a $5 reward. And that system is the same for regular members. And I honestly think it would be, I'm sidetracking here a little bit, but I honestly think it would be better if they like doubled it. Like, either you get two stamps, you get double stamps for every $10 spent. So two stamps for every $10 spent, or they double it in the sense of once you reach 10 stamps, you get $10. So I feel like they need to double it for the premium membership, because again, it's like the only thing you're really upgrading with the premium membership is the fact that you get a tote bag and then the free drink size upgrade at the cafe, and then a birthday discount and treats at the cafe. But that's if your Barnes & Noble has a cafe. Not every Barnes & Nobles have cafes. Like, I'm in between two roughly. I've talked about this before. I'm in between Calabasas Commons and then Studio City off of Laurel Canyon Boulevard. Calabasas Commons has a cafe. Studio City does not have a cafe. So if yours doesn't have a cafe, you're not going to get cafe discounts. And like, I do like how when you get stuff at the cafe, if you spend $10 at the cafe, you can get a stamp. But again, that's only if your Barnes & Noble has a cafe. And if it doesn't, you're not going to get that. So anyway, getting back on track. So the stamp-based rewards is the same for regular members and premium membership. Not much of a difference there. And then the next con is con number 6. The only things really exclusive or premium about this is that you get the tote bag, the cafe upgrades, and the birthday treats, like what I was talking about. I could have waited for this one to talk about that. So I could have waited for this one to talk about that, but like, there's like the tote bag, I think is like $19.99, $20 basically. And you get the tote bag, which is great. You get the cafe upgrades and the birthday treats. But that's the only thing really exclusive about it. Like I was saying, like if they doubled the rewards for us for premium memberships. Or I feel like it would have to be that in addition to like a larger discount, because 10% off, like I said, 10% off of 15 is only $1.50 off. So if you're getting like a regular paperback, let's see, taking a look at like this one, let's say this one was $19.99, so that'd be like 1.9, $1.90 off of this would be the 10% discount. So it's like it only really starts to show into effect if you get something of higher value, which is kind of the point. But if they gave us like a bigger discount, then I feel like it would be more worth it. And then the last one, number 7, is there's no obvious amount for the birthday discount. Like they're not very forthcoming about it. Like they send you an email with the discounts and the code on your birthday, but they send it in an email, but they're not like online. It's kind of hard to find an exact amount for what that discount is. So it'd be that on top, whatever that is, on top of like the 10%. And I think you get like a free birthday treat at like the cafe, but it's like they're not very forthcoming about what the birthday treats and discounts are. So yeah, you really do have to, kind of like what I was talking about, you really do have to go enough times to make the $40 A worth it, and B, you have to like go enough times, buy enough times, and you kind of do have to have that kind of money accessible, you know, which not everyone has. Where, like I said at the beginning of this video, I will continue to support it because it is one of the largest chains standing in the way, and the last large chain, at least here in the US, standing in the way of Amazon getting to the book industry here in the States. So to kind of end this part of the video on a more positive, happy note, to talk about the pros, you get 10% everyday discount. Does not matter when you're buying it, does not matter what time, does not matter if you're going online or going in the store, you get a 10% discount. And again, if it's like a larger amount, if it's a book that has like a larger price tag on it, then it will be like a larger discount, and if you're getting more books, it will add up. So 10% discount on everything you get, and that is for both Barnes & Noble and Paper Source. So you can go to your local Paper Source and get that and then add to your stamps. And then for yearly tote bag, another pro. So if you don't have enough book totes, you get like an exclusive exclusive Barnes & Noble one, and they change the colors pretty regularly. And then the next one is free shipping for online orders. So if you're making an order through the app or through the website, and you have a premium membership, you get free shipping. So that is totally taken care of, which I always like, because it's like I don't want to have to worry about free shipping, because there's one order that I'm saving up my rewards. I think I have about $35 in rewards now, and at least when I'm recording this like a month out. When I last checked, I had like about 35, and like I've been saving that for, I've talked about this I think on my channel, the Magic Knight Rebirth 25th anniversary, the second series. There's like 2 quote-unquote series or seasons for the manga, and I need part 2 for the 25th anniversary edition, but it's really expensive, so I've been saving up my rewards for that. And that's the nice thing too, that I guess is another pro, which I'll add in here. One second. Okay, so I've written it down, so I'll talk about that next. But yeah, so free shipping, I don't always want to have to worry about free shipping, especially if it's like a bigger order, or even like a small order. Like I did a small order recently as like a sort of gag gift for myself and one of my friends, and then my sister. And like I don't want to have to worry about like the shipping being more than what I'm actually buying, you know, because sometimes that happens. So anyway, to move on to the next pro, what is 1, 2, 3, 4, which I just added. So your rewards, if once you start getting like the $5 rewards entering in, those won't expire. Like those don't have an expiry date unless your actual membership expires and like you let it lapse. That is the only time the rewards will lapse and expire. Like if you renew your membership after you let it expire, like if you redo it, then you won't have those rewards that you built up, but you can save up your rewards. You can save them up for like a bigger purchase, like what I'm doing for the 25th anniversary of the Magic Night Rave. You can save them up and do like a little bit of a splurge or on your birthday, depending on when your membership expires and or renews. And you can have like an auto renewal. You have to set that up through the website and have a card on file for it to auto renew, and then that way you won't have to worry about renewing it in store or going in to renew it. So there's that. They do not expire. And then the stamp-based rewards program is included. Again, I think they need to up this a little bit for premium members. And basically, like I was saying earlier, it's you earn a stamp for every $10 spent, and then every 10 stamps you earn, you get a $5 reward. So that's included in your premium membership. And again, like I said, I think they need to up it a little bit for premium members. Like I mentioned earlier, I think it either needs to be you earn double for every $10 spent. So you earn 2 stamps for every $10 spent, or once you get 10 stamps, you get $10 or $20. Wait, no. You get $10. There we go. So every 10 stamps collected, you get $10, or every $10 spent, you get 2 stamps. So they need to like double it somehow to make it a little bit more worth it, I think. The next pro is that you get the free cafe size upgrade, the drink upgrade, and so basically if you get like a small, you can get a free upgrade to a medium. If you get a medium, you get a free upgrade to a large. I don't think there's like an extra large, so you get the free upgrades. And then the next one, pro number 7, is that you do get exclusive offers and early access to certain things, and that is something you need to keep an eye on in your emails for. But there is exclusive offers and early access that they let you know about in emails. And then the last one is the birthday discount and treats. If you enter in your birthday, you get the email discount and code to be able to get the treat from the cafe. But again, that's only if your Barnes & Noble cafe, that's only if your Barnes & Noble has a cafe. Like again, the Studio City one near me it doesn't have a cafe. So you're not going to get it if that's your usual Barnes & Noble. You have to go to one with a cafe, and that might be a little bit out of range for some people. So I do think it'd be useful for them to like pair up with the neighboring coffee shop, because it's like then that would help kind of balance some of that out. Like I know the Calabasas Commons one, I know like that one has a cafe, but like right next door used to be a Jenny's, but now it's like a coffee shop, I think. I've been in there. I'm not a big coffee person, and my usual from Starbucks is the caramel frappuccino. So it's like I like my coffee sweets. And then my usual from Horror Vibes Cafe seems to be the s'mores one. So the s'mores latte, I want to say. So it's like I like my coffee sweets. But anyway, if your Barnes & Noble does not have a cafe, then you're not going to get like the free cafe upgrade or the birthday treat from the cafe. So I feel like it would be beneficial for them to pair up with the neighboring coffee shop if the Barnes & Noble location does not have a cafe. Like I know the Studio City one, there's like a Starbucks nearby, and there might be like another coffee shop nearby on the same street. It'd be useful if they paired up with that. So something to think about, you know? One moment. Okay, so to go over the memberships. Now, there is the regular membership, rewards membership. You earn a virtual stamp for every $10 spent in a transaction. Okay, so let's see. Exclusions apply. I'm just opening this one real. There's like an exclusions apply, see membership terms and conditions for details. So I just opened that up real quick. This one isn't included. So benefits, stamps. Certain conditions. Okay, benefits, no annual fee. I think I will actually include this. Members can redeem a reward at any time during operating hours at Barnes & Noble or Paper Source stores at any time, or at any time the Barnes & Noble site is operative. In stores, you must present your physical or virtual membership card or number or email to redeem rewards. Rewards may be applied to any eligible purchase in a Barnes & Noble or Paper Source store or through the websites. Rewards are applied after all eligible discounts, including the premium membership everyday discount, and coupons are applied. The rewards cannot be applied to instant purchases made on a device or barnesandnoble.com, and rewards can only be applied to eligible digital content purchases via cart transactions on barnesandnoble.com. Excluded items and other charges for which Barnes & Noble rewards may not be applied for are premium membership fees, new or renewal, gift cards, electronic gift cards, instant purchases of ebooks / digital content made on a device or barnesandnoble.com, digital newsstand subscriptions, digital audiobook subscriptions, digital audiobooks purchased with credits, hardware and electronics other than Nook devices, gratuities applied to Barnes & Noble cafe purchases, B&M kitchen items, textbook purchases on barnesandnoble.com, third parties, gift wrapping for purchases made on barnesandnoble.com, shipping, other fees, taxes, and purchases made on the website. The value of rewards redeemed in transactions is applied as a discount proportionally across all eligible items. For example, if a $16 item and a $24 item are purchased and $5 in rewards are applied to the transactions, a $2 discount is applied to the first item and a $3 discount is applied to the second. So periodic special options and special offers and promotions are at stores and on the websites. There are certain conditions. Stamps have no cash redemption value and cannot be exchanged, sold, or transferred. The email address and the member profile must be valid for rewards to be redeemed. Members with an unconfirmed email address will receive an email to the email address associated with it requesting they confirm the validity. And then stamps and rewards may not be transferred to another account, cannot be earned or redeemed in conjunction with employee discounts or any corporate, institutional, or pre-arranged grouped discounts unless specifically stated. We will deduct stamps from a membership account when a product earning stamps is returned. I don't think they do this. Maybe they do. Anyway, so we will partially or fully restore rewards to the member's account if these product returns from a transaction is in which rewards were redeemed. For example, if a $16 item and a $24 item are purchased and $5 rewards is applied to the transaction, $2 and $3 discounts for the items. If the $16 item is returned, $2 in rewards is returned to the account. Okay, that's a little confusing, but understandable. I will include this down below in the description. So we will partially, I read that part. If a reward has been redeemed in transaction, the qualifying order total for free shipment free standard shipping on Barnes & Noble is calculated prior to the reward discount being applied. And then any rewards earned will not expire unless the membership has been canceled or terminated. Stamps do not expire except if there's been no qualifying activity for a period of 12 consecutive months or the membership account has been canceled. And then premium membership benefits due to certain conditions. Okay, let's look at the conditions for the premium membership because I do want to give like an overarching view and kind of like looking at the cons. Let's look at the conditions so you can be educated about this, or we can all be educated about this. The everyday member discount is not available on certain products featured in certain designated promotions or sales, or on the following items and other charges. Okay, so we talked about this, the gift cards, e-gift cards, ebook digital content, hardware and electronic software. Talked about that the 10% member discount on Nook devices is applied to the list price of the device, not the sale price. If in the event of a promotion that reduces the selling price in excess of 10% of the list price, members are charged the lower of the two prices. When applicable, the everyday member discount will be applied after all other eligible discounts and deductions are applied, except for coupons and rewards or where otherwise stated. Coupon and reward discounts will be applied after the everyday member discounts. Everyday member discounts cannot be used in conjunction with any other coupons or in conjunction with the employee discounts. To receive the membership benefit the premium membership birthday offer, you must provide the month and day of your birthday, as well as a valid email address in your profile, and you'll be sent the offer email each year, assuming the premium membership is active as of the first day of the month of the member's birthday. To receive the birthday offer for each child on the premium membership profile turning 12 years or younger, the premium membership profile must contain a valid email address. So there's a legacy map from existing. One second, let me look at this real quick. Okay, so the legacy membership is the old membership program where you had a $25 annual fee. And it was replaced by new tiers. So, yeah. And the membership did have a price hike. So the premium membership did have the price hike from $25 to $40, so it's a $15 price hike. Okay, so for wrapping this video up, I am going to go over the Reddit thread a little bit. And then I'm going to go over the last link that I mentioned, the premium membership is an insult to readers. Like I mentioned earlier, I do think that's a little bit harsh, but I do understand where the author is coming from. So we're going to start with the Reddit thread. So this was under Reddit r/Barnes & Noble. Premium membership is it worth it? I saw a previous post. This is from about 2 years ago. So I saw a previous post from 5 years ago, saying that the Barnes & Noble membership was $25 per year, and now as of January 2024. How's that 2 years ago? And now as of January 2024, this might have been from 2020. I don't know. 2023. Okay. So it hadn't gone into effect yet. And as of January 2024, it is $39.99. I saw how many things are offered in this premium section, but $40 seems like a lot. In 2023, I spent about $70 on books from Barnes. Honestly, I didn't buy too much last year, and I'm trying not to spend so much money on Amazon anymore when it comes to book. Again, 2023 wasn't a spend-heavy year, but 2021 and 2022 were. I absolutely love the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions, and I'm trying to grow my collection. They also have at least one general sale a year. My friend has the membership, and I would like my own because of the 10 stamps equals $5 rewards and a free tote bag. LOL. I'd also let my family use my membership because my sister loves the puzzles from here. That's cute. They also have an insane board game and Lego collection. I love the store. That's true. Their games and Legos, pretty good collection. I don't go to Barnes often because I don't have a car, but I have 2 within 10 minutes of where I live. I'm the same way. I did not post this. They're both within 10 minutes of me. I wonder if you live near me. Okay, anyway. Wherever I shop at Barnes, it's usually with the shipping. Wherever I shop at Barnes, it's usually with the shipping, and the free shipping alone makes me consider getting the membership because it's so frustrating when I just want to buy one book and have to reach a specific amount for free shipping. Yes. So would the premium membership be worth it? Thank you so much to everyone for leaving feedback and sharing your thoughts. I really appreciate those of you who took the time to comment, and all of you helped so much. I think with what I could use the membership with, free shipping, etc., it's definitely worth spending $40. Yes. At the end of the day, kind of like what I was talking about with the pros and the cons, it is worth it if you're spending enough to at the very least balance out the 40. Balancing out means at the very least you're spending $40 in terms of books and other products that you're spending at Barnes & Noble, and if you have a paper source nearby, paper source as well. And it would be better if you could spend over that $40 to kind of make it more heavy on the spending side, again, to make it worth it. But at the minimum, spending $40 per year to balance out the $40 spent on the membership, it balances out. Like, yes, you're spending $80 plus total, but to balance out the earnings, the offerings of the membership, you need to spend at least $40 in products to make it worth it, to make the membership worth $40. So to go over the comments, if you go there a lot, I would definitely say get the membership. There are a lot of benefits with the discounts and added rewards if you save them, especially if you're going for Barnes & Noble exclusives. Plus you get free tote bags every year, which is really nice. A lot of people forget that they can get discounts in the cafe if they have a cafe, which is great because food and coffee are getting expensive now. Yeah. Let's see. You can't renew online, which is also a benefit. Okay. If you're trying to build your collection, it's definitely worth it. A few trips with books, puzzles, cafe purchases could help pay for the membership itself, and the discounts and rewards are accrued. And then you can always get the free rewards card too if you're worried about not spending enough to make up for the premium. Yes, so you can sign up for the free membership and get that card. You don't have to pay for the premium, but if you're going enough and if you're spending enough, like some of the comments said, and like I've said, it could be worth it to get the premium. You just have to kind of look into how many times you're buying books, not just from Barnes & Noble, but just in general, like how often are you buying books, and see if you could kind of center that to, at the very least, Barnes & Noble. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it is good to try to support your local bookstores, independent indie bookstores, and libraries as much as possible, but to prevent Amazon from getting to the book industry, Barnes & Noble. And I know there's Book Soup in Los Angeles, and I think some other locations. There's Books A Million, kind of like the southeast area, and like the mid-south and southeast area. There's Books A Million, and then just any other bookstores that you can support to avoid Amazon getting the book industry is great. So yeah, you can always get the free rewards membership. You can always sign up for that if you don't think you'll be going to Barnes & Noble enough to balance out the cost. Let's see what else. My membership has paid for itself like 3 times as much from what I spend / reap in rewards with stamps, especially the hardcover sale, where if you spend $50 on hardcovers, you get $20 in stamps or something like that. Plus, the books were 33% off, which is stackable with my 10% off. I feel like I stole from them. I vote yes. But how much did you actually spend the whole year? Probably, so this is like the same comment thread. Probably about $300 total or more, but I would say that that's a good guess. So if you're spending like upwards of like $50, $60, $70, $80+ on books, you've definitely paid for the membership. You've definitely paid the membership off with the rewards and the stamps you can build up. Another comment said there were several times last year that Barnes & Noble offered double and triple stamps around the holidays that can nearly boost your rewards amounts if they continue those offers this year. They do. I haven't seen that many triple stamps offers, but I did see a couple of double stamps. So that is a good way to increase the stamps. And honestly, one of my friends, she'll either use their boyfriend's rewards or mine when we're together. Like when we go to Barnes & Noble together, they'll use my friend goes by she, they pronouns, and they'll use mine when we go out together. And sometimes my friend will get a lot, so mine on top of like hers. her purchases, so it's like that builds it up a lot. So yeah, so they also have a general sale. Just keep in mind, depending on the sale, the membership may not stack. This is true, like I said, with like going over the conditions. Let's see, if you're a frequent shopper, I would absolutely do it. I have people pay cash out with me regularly. I have people cash out with me regularly that only have the rewards program, and they have almost paid for the membership but refuse to get it because they think $40 is too much. It also saves you on shipping, and I would advise it. Barnes & Noble has a bunch of exclusive versions of books and records and stuff like that, and you could literally get anywhere else, and you literally can't get anywhere else, and it takes 10% off. So I think it really boils, and the last comment I'll talk about, but I think it really boils down to if you go to Barnes & Noble enough, whether it's physically or virtually. I go probably 2 to 3 times a month and order most of my pre-orders there. Some things to consider: how often are you visiting the store or online websites? How often do you make purchases while there? Do you get anything from the cafe? Again, if it has a cafe. And do you order anything off their website? If so, are you paying for shipping each time? The free shipping and the extra 10% is what sold me on my membership. Plus, you get a nice canvas tote bag each year. I'm always using mine. So yeah, I agree with a lot of these comments that saying it depends on how much you go and how much you're spending on books. Because if you're spending a lot on books, it can be useful for a Barnes & Noble premium membership. And it can be beneficial to have the premium membership. So like I mentioned with mine, like I'm trying to save up my rewards to like the 25th anniversary. It's like $125 roughly. And like with Amazon, I'm not going to get any discounts on that. But with Barnes & Noble, like I'd get a 10% discount. So that brings it like, let's see, 10% of 125, so 10% would be $12.50. So okay, 125, just answer 25 minus 12.50, so that brings it down to $112.50. And then like again, like when I last checked, again I'm recording this like a month out, I have to turn this off, it's dying. Like I have like about 35, so 112, and this is not including like taxes and stuff, because I know it's like minus 100, oh gosh, 0.50 minus 35, so again like it's $77.50. So I think it's like a little bit more. I think it's a little closer to 100, because like again like taxes and fees and stuff, so it's a little bit closer to 100. But like once I get to like enough, I can pay for half of that back with rewards building up. So yeah, there's that. So to go over, I know this video is a little bit on the longer side, a little bit more talky, but bear with me because I feel like we need to talk about this. So let's see. I'm gonna like go down a little bit because we've talked about some of this. I'm gonna read verbatim some parts of it, not everything. Like, I'm gonna have my own commentary, but I'm gonna be reading a little bit verbatim here. Formerly, the $25 membership would get customers 10% off in-store purchases, free shipping on their website, exclusive deals, and access to events and special birthday offers. Going from $25 annual fee to $40, one would imagine a mandatory $15 hike up would nearly double the benefits. Yes, like I was saying earlier, like, I think they need to double the amount of the rewards for premium memberships, especially considering it's $40. But like, aside, like I was saying earlier, aside from like the free birthday discount and the tote bag and the cafe upgrades, like, it's not that much of a difference between premium and regular memberships. So it's like, I do, not just because of the price, but just because it's premium, I do think they need to bump up a little bit more for the premium memberships. So it is beneficial if you're going enough times, but $40 you would kind of expect a little bit more than the standard run-of-the-mill stamps program. So it's worth noting that the 10% is not available to use on some products. We talked about that. The new membership plan is catering to individuals shopping in store for physical books and also buying coffee at the cafe. For digital consumers whose interests lie in neither of these two, the deal is a hard pass, a clear missed market by Barnes & Noble. So if we're talking about like digital in the sense of ebooks and audiobooks, then yes, it's not as beneficial. If you're looking at like digital as in they're shopping more on the website, it can be beneficial because of the free shipping, and you're still getting the 10% discount on, like, if you're ordering or pre-ordering physical books, then you still get the discounts. But if you're talking about, like I said, if you're talking about audiobooks or ebooks, then no, it's not going to be applicable. Essentially, the new membership, okay, talked about that. Many of us enjoy reading print books while the cafe can be a nice place to relax. Not everyone is interested in downing a large vanilla sweet Keurig cold brew they save 20 cents on from a medium while they slug through another Colleen Hoover novel. I feel like that's a little bit harsh. I do think that, I did read through this briefly. I do think that this person, well, like I said, I understand where they're coming from, and I do agree with a few of the points. I do think that at times they're a little bit harsh, because it's like, for me, a large part of, like, I don't get Starbucks because at this point I'm not supporting Starbucks, but I do get my usual Starbucks order at the cafe at Calabasas Commons, and then recently at the Grove Barnes & Noble in Los Angeles, and Starbucks doesn't get any of the profits from the Barnes & Noble cafe. So it's like, I'm fine getting my coffee at the Barnes & Noble cafe. And I like my sweet coffee, okay? I hate the taste of coffee, but I will get my sweet coffee because I can barely taste it, and I can taste mostly the caramel. So it's like, I'm gonna get like my coffee and a treat to get like the $10, the full $10, and get a stamp. And if you have a membership, I highly recommend getting, at least if your Barnes & Noble has a cafe, I highly recommend at least getting $10 worth of stuff at the cafe to at least get one stamp. Anyway, getting back on track. Yes, it can be nice. I think this comment was a little bit harsh, but yeah, you do save a little bit. You can enter your rewards. Not only are a portion of people not keen to buy from the Barnes & Noble cafe, but some being in locations don't even have cafes, rendering that aspect of the new membership useless. I agree. I talked about this. I do agree with this. Which is why I said, like, maybe partnering up with a local coffee shop. Maybe not Starbucks. I know I said Starbucks earlier, but like maybe not Starbucks, but local, pairing up with a local coffee shop. Instead of being like, hey, this Barnes & Noble doesn't have a cafe, let's pair up with XYZ coffee shop. We're good. Anyway. As if being required to fully upgrade to the $40 membership as opposed to having an option wasn't enough. Getting it now demands credit card information. Like, I think this one is a little bit misled. The author might have been a little bit misled. I think you can purchase it with cash. They just continue to say in the past, memberships could be purchased in store with cash, so customers wouldn't have to worry about looming automatic billing that came with using a credit card. Now they've completely taken out this option, hoping that customers forget they're paying for it, so Barnes & Noble can rack up more membership numbers. I do agree with this, but at the same time, you can opt out of the automatic billing, automatic renewal. You do not have to sign into that, and that can be a little bit hard to see. It can be easy to miss, but at least when you're doing it online, you can opt out from that. And in person, I think you can buy with, let's see, let me look into this real quick. Okay, so yes, you can still use cash. You can use cash anywhere, and you can still use cash to get a premium membership at any of their store locations if you're doing it in store. However, this will only be like a 1 year term of the membership. It'll be a one type deal, and it will not renew. However, if you're doing it online, you do need the credit card information because you can't use cash online. So that's a little bit misled. The exclusion of keeping the two memberships running parallel and letting customers pick between a tier is the real nail in the coffin. The basis of consumerism hinges on choice, and to take that away in favor of forcing a more expensive fee with pitiful recompense is sure to rub people the wrong way. While the bookseller is launching the free program Barnes & Noble Rewards that allows customers a $5 credit for every, that's misleading. He said 100. I think he meant 10. For every $10 they spent, or no, yeah, it is 100. Because it's time for, yeah, it is 100. $5 reward for every 100 spent. It feels like a thin bone when they've thrown it to those who've enjoyed the current membership for years. For members, this latest change may be the last straw in the decision to purchase from Barnes & Noble as opposed to other alternatives. Personal debates on whether this new premium is worth it is sure to vary, but for many, it's the end of a chapter with the Barnes & Noble memberships. So I do think this is a little bit harsh, but I think it adds a good perspective. And for a lot of people, I do agree that it was like the nail in the coffin when you're basically getting the same thing, except like a minimal discount and again, it's minimal depending on how much you're buying. So like I said, like if a book is like $12, it's like 1.2. If a book is 15, it's 1.5, $1.50. So it really depends on how big the purchase is. But for smaller purchases, it can seem a little bit minimal. Like my manga, I think I may have looked at this one. This is like $12.99, so it'd be like 1.20. And then the Apothecaries, is that the same amount? The Apothecary Diaries? This is the same amount, so it'd be like $1.20. What was this one? $1.20. Okay, let's look at a different one. So 1 second. Heaven Official's Blessing, $19.99, so $1.90. So it really depends on the amount of the individual book or books, and then the overall price, the overall charge if you're getting more than one book. And the 10% discount is applied to each book, so it can look like a lot if you're getting more than one book. I do think it's worth it if you're going enough times each year. Like I said, I do think that they need to increase the rewards for the premium, again, to just make it worth it. Aside from going enough times to make it worth it, they need to give the premium members a little bit more. For me, at the end of the day, it is worth it to have a premium membership because I'm going enough times. Like, I'm going out with friends. Like, Barnes & Noble is our usual thing. Like, I'm going around my birthday. I'm going with my friends for their birthdays. I'm going with my sister for my sister's birthday. Or for my mom's birthday, we went to Barnes & Noble. Like, we went to a couple different places, and then we went to Barnes & Noble, and We all got something. So I go enough times in each year to make it worth it, that it adds up. But not everyone goes enough times. So it really depends. At the end of the day, it really depends on your financial situation. And if you go enough times, if you buy enough books each year to make $40 worth it. And at the end of the day, like, it's not going to be worth it for everyone. And that's okay. And I think we all need to like look at our financial situations, myself included. For me, I have, and it's worth it. But it's not going to be worth it for everyone. So that is the end of this video. Comment down below with what your thoughts and opinions are on this matter, because I would love to have some discussion about this and just really talk about it a little bit more. And again, I don't think Barnes & Noble will watch it, but we'll watch this. We'll take this into account. Maybe they will. You never know. If you want to tag Barnes & Noble, do they have a YouTube? We'll see. If you want to tag them down below in the description, go for it. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.